Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Halo implementation series. Today we're going to actually talk about something that isn't strictly, I guess, part of the implementation, but it's a really cool new feature in Halo, and this is the Chat GPT integration. So this is a brand new feature. By the time this video gets up onto the air, you will more than likely have it enabled in your database. So with me again today is my favorite person at Halo, Mr. Halo himself, who is actually going to talk us through how to set up the Chat GPT, how we can use it in Halo, and not just from a ticketing perspective, but also from an end user perspective as well. So, hey Morgan, how you doing? And thanks for being with me again today.
Yeah, hey Chris, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is an exciting one. It came pretty much out of the blue. I mean, I know there was some internal conversations that we were having about sort of wanting to integrate with ChatGPT, and then a week later it was done, and now it's on a version 2.116 to be specific. So yeah, keep an eye out for that version in particular. But yeah, thought we'd sort of give everyone a walkthrough of how they will be setting it up and potentially how they'll be using it once the integration is available. So.
And I just wanted to say, you've seen it here first, right? So
that's it. I mean, this being candid, the first time that I've actually interacted with this was about 10 minutes ago. So we're all learning here. But yeah, let's take a look.
Good. Yeah, let's do it.
Excuse me. Cool. So if we head to configuration integrations, we'll now see a new integration at the bottom, Chat GPT. So when you click in here, the first thing that you'll be prompted with is to provide an API key. I just want to quickly highlight where you go to obtain that API key. So you need to ensure that you have an OpenAI account. And then from your account, if you click your account in the top right, you'll have an API keys option. And in there, you can generate a new key, and that'll be the key that you plug into Halo. Now, once you enable the integration module, what you'll find is a couple of options against your actions. So there's two main functions of the integration that you can use at the minute. You can either generate a response, or you can have ChatGPT generate a response, or you can have ChatGPT sort of improve, enhance, provide some context to a response that you or your technicians are actually putting into Halo. So if we go to action config, what we'll find is against our actions now, at the bottom of the details tab, there is a ChatGPT section. Now in here, we have our operations, where you've got generate user response, or improve agent note. So the generate user response will actually send this prompt to ChatGPT along with the whole thread of the ticket, and we'll have ChatGPT generate a response and send that back to the customer directly. So yeah, no more sort of having to actually write a response up yourself, especially if it's some sort of generic response. We're just waiting for feedback, something like that. We just need more information. What we can do is we can just have ChatGPT perform that action for you effectively.
Yeah, and I just want to say, and I mean, if you look at the system settings, how Morgan's written that, we need to at this point tell ChatGPT, how it needs to interact with the user. So you're a helpful service desk technician. You can obviously put whatever you want in there, but maybe in this particular instance, we wanted ChatGPT to act as though it was a technician responding to a customer in a kind of a friendly manner. So.
That's it. Yeah. I suppose it's also worth noting here that we've provided an option to input the different models as well. So, as the new iterations of the OpenAI get released, GPT-4 and so on, you'll be able to put those updated models in here and get back the response as per the updated model. So yeah, it's quite a handy one as well. So we've got this ChatGPT response action. If we go to I'll tell you what, let's log a ticket from the SelfService Portal. So I'll create a new ticket. Laptop won't
So this is the customer logging the ticket, right? So
Correct.
this is
Yeah, this is from the
client
self-service portal.
self-service.
Yeah.
Of course, this would work in the same way if the customer emailed it in, or whatever method they want to use. We just so happen to be using this, but
That's correct. Yeah. Just for the sake of sort of timekeeping, because I don't have a proper mailbox hooked up to my internal instance, we'll do our interactions via the self-service portal. So I've got this ChatGPT response action at the top here. Click that. I haven't typed anything in as the agent, and we'll get our initial response from ChatGPT, sort of saying, "Hi, how can I help?" Blah blah blah. Just wait to get that back. And here we can see a fully fledged message based on the context of the sort of previous thread, blah 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 blah. Without me as an agent, without me typing into the keyboard at all. So
that's awesome.
Pretty neat. Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this is going to massively kind of enhance the way that people are interacting with their customers, because I don't know if I would necessarily respond like that, to be fair. I'm sorry that to hear you're having trouble with your laptop, but I guess now that you've got that response, right, you can go ahead and just edit it if you wanted to further edit it a little bit more. So
I mean, I guess just as like an initial demonstration of how the integration works, we've kind of put it together in a sort of fast and loose way, so to speak. But just like with ChatGPT itself, people will be putting different messages into those actions, right? So if we go back to the configuration of our action, I certainly expect people will be playing about with the system message prompt in here, and I imagine sort of on the on the various forums, the MSP community will sort of share their ideas about what they found is a successful system message versus what isn't, and over time people will find the optimal text to put in here, such that ChatGPT can provide a sort of a convincing and human response, let's say. And I guess something else now that sort of GPT-4 is out, which you can provide much more context for, we'll probably start looking at sort of feeding it information about Halo itself. So it's not just giving you a generic response about if your laptop won't turn on, can you plug it in, but actually sort of giving you knowledge base articles and stuff like that. But that's further on down the road. For now, we'll just leave this as it is.
No, I mean, there's a huge amount of potential with where this can go, because obviously it's responding at this point to to the customer in the way that we asked it to, in a very friendly way. But I can see this going, write me a knowledge base article on how to solve this issue, or write some customer documentation on the customer's asked about how they set up their phone system, or how they add email to their phone. Use ChatGPT to send them that information, and write documentation. So I can definitely see this is gonna go far. And already this is something that very few other PSA tools are doing already. So it's really, really good to see that.
Yeah. We were quick to the party with this one, I must admit. Which leads me on to the next feature available when using the ChatGPT integration. So we'll go back to our action configuration, and we can see that not only can the ChatGPT integration sort of generate responses autonomously, but it can also take an input from an agent as an initial sort of context for the message, and then tweak it, fixed grammatical or spelling mistakes or anything like that. And you would do that via the improve agent note option instead of generate user response. Now, when you have your improve agent note, what you can do is you can provide ChatGPT with a prompt, and in that prompt, we can use the $rich action note variable, which will be replaced with the text that the agent puts in at the point of performing the action. And then we can provide it some wider context here. So just as an example, I've said, keep our HTML tags, preserve any sort of HTML formatting, but make sure that their spelling and grammar is corrected, and make it polite as well. So if I go back to my ticket and I click enhance note, and I say something like, I have no idea what is going on, and you are really annoying me. So I've put that in as the technician.
Sometimes we do want to say that to our customers sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. Oh well, this could this could be dangerous. Now we've got ChatGPT sort of interpreting agent responses. People are going to be putting in whatever they want.
Yeah.
And you can see here that my rather rude message has been replaced with something far more palatable.
Yeah.
So yeah, another really cool feature.
That's really good, and I think, sorry if I can just say, I think what's really nice about that, as you say, is it's going to correct grammatical errors, and it's also going to correct when somebody might say something slightly less polite or something less something that you wouldn't be wanting to say to your customers, right? Obviously, and calling a customer a moron or something, you may not want to necessarily say that, although you might think that. And ChatGPT is going to be able to help you to fix that stuff.
Yeah, I see two uses for this at the minute. One is sort of providing certain tonality, as we just saw there. So improving the how polite or how approachable a message may seem. The other that I see could be useful is making a response a bit more verbose. So we might want to change our we might want to change our prompt in the action to say something along the lines of, take the details from this note and format it in long form paragraph manner. That way, the agent could just jot down some notes on the ticket, did this, did that, fix this, fix that, and then ChatGPT could load that into a wider message that, hi, Mr. Customer, just wanted to give you an update, blah, 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 and all of that stuff that, is not really useful, but it all aids to the customer experience. That can all be filled out by the AI now. So yeah. Those are the two uses I see at the minute.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things I can see here, you've mentioned about kind of spelling and grammar errors, to fix those. Now, obviously, as Halo is a product that is sold worldwide, we all spell things differently. You can actually tell ChatGPT at this point to do this in British English or American English, or so what it'll then do is take those spelling mistakes, and spell color with a U and color without a U, or whatever the case might be, so you can really kind of enhance it to use the the way in which you would speak in that particular country, rather than it just kind of putting something in a particular way. So yeah, no, I think it's really good. There's really, really cool stuff you can do with this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of hearing about some of the use cases that people actually have with setting this up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And finally, the sort of the final feature that we've sort of built in natively, which is another really cool one, is you can now have ChatGPT respond via the Halo HaloChat functionality. So I'm aware that we haven't done a video on HaloChat yet. I'm not going to go into all of the details of it in today's session. We'll probably schedule that for the coming weeks. But for the sake of the integration, we'll briefly cover how that works. So, excuse me, in configuration chat, we can set up chat profiles. Now, chat profiles kind of work in a similar fashion to our workflows in that we have a flow chart, which is our bot flow, which can lead customers down a specific path based on user input, based on multiple choice selection, and so on. Again, for this demonstration, I've just put something fairly basic together. Just got an initial message, which is composed of, within our initial step, we have an action. The action is send a message, which is just, hello, how can I help? Following that initial message, we're going to provide the customer the option to input some text, which will then lead us to the final step where we're going to have ChatGPT respond in the chat based on the text that was entered. And again, we can put our system message in, providing some context as to how we would expect ChatGPT to respond to this message. Now, once we've set our bot flow up, again, in the details tab, you just want to make sure you give it a name, specify a certain level of access, whether it's only on the self-service portal or potentially on external websites as well. So you could have this on your own website. And then if we take a step back in our chat configuration, we can see that we have our self-service portal chat profile, which equates to this little chat bubble being present down at the bottom right here. So I click that. Let's start a new one.
Actually, Morgan, when we were doing the test before the video, you put something really funny on there, and I'd love to put the same thing on again and see how it responds.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the first step. We've moved to the second step where we're just saying, please describe your issue/request. I think what I said last time was my laptop is on fire. How can I solve this? Let ChatGPT do its thing.
I really hope it gives the same answer that it gave when we were doing the test.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's so cool.
It's so cool the way it answers it. Like, oh no, that sounds like a very serious problem. You should immediately turn it off. And run like hell.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you can load up ChatGPT into the HaloChat itself. Another really neat feature.
Yeah, that's really cool because it just gives you kind of the I mean, actually, and the interesting thing is, I was just going to say, can you take this further? So if you then said, could you give me some more information on what else I need to do, or I've tried that, what else can I do? I guess ChatGPT will just carry on answering you for as long as you're going here, unless you have another step to tell it to kind of eventually go to an engineer or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't actually tested this, but perhaps you could put it sort of in a feedback loop where you've got a text prompt, ChatGPT responds to it, then we can provide some more text. Again, this is the first time I've seen this as well, so let's see what happens.
And as Morgan said, I mean, on one of the future videos, we will we will spend some more time on how to kind of set up this live chat, because I think this is something that's pretty awesome. So
I wonder if it's going to be able to answer a question like that, something a bit more specific.
Be very interesting to see. I'm sure, knowing what I know about how ChatGPT works, I'm sure it'll be able to
That is so cool. That
Okay, so it's
didn't.
gone back to the prompt. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that didn't
yeah.
work. What else can I try? Yeah.
That is really cool.
That's pretty cool. I mean, and that's really nice that that whole thing was automated, rather than an engineer having to type that.
Did it?
Oh, looks
Did
like
it?
it looks like it didn't carry on.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
there
no, no, it did. It did.
it did. Sorry, it just jumped to the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has understood the context from the previous message. So I mean, again, it's a rather crude example here because I've just put it into a feedback loop. But what you would probably want is you'd probably want an initial message, a ChatGPT response that would then lead you into a separate input box and then have a feedback loop in there. But yeah,
sure. But the concept of it is the same, because I guess at some point you're going to say, okay, I need to, would you like me to log a ticket or something? And then it can go
yeah,
ahead and log it as a ticket or whatever. So, no, I mean, that's really cool. I think there's some really cool stuff here, and I'd love to get people's feedback on this. So, if
yeah.
you want to let us know what you think about this, in the comments below, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and love to hear some of the ways you think you might be using ChatGPT in Halo moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing some of the feedback from how MSPs are going to use ChatGPT within their business and within Halo. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, that was really good. That was a very quick kind of introduction to what this is going to be. I'm looking forward to getting this in my live environment. Can't wait to see this come out. I think it's going to be really, really good. So, once again, Morgan, really, really appreciate you jumping on the call. Really appreciate your time, and I appreciate Halo letting me use you and borrow you to do these videos. So, really very grateful and really do appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, Chris. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I'll see you on the next one.
Yep. See you on the next one. Cheers.
Take care.